The American Muslim population is a really philanthropic population. We give to mosques, we give to causes, we give more than our average as far as I can tell. But we tend to give reactively. We tend to give in moments of crisis. And we tend to give for tangible reasons, things like mosques and schools. What we don't do as often is we invest in institutions and ideas that will pay off in generations, not just years. And the Islamic Center of Southern California is one of those institutions that if you donate to it, it'll pay off in generations. 25 years ago, I was working with the Islamic Center of Southern California to raise money for an endowment. An endowment it's not something that's common in Muslim institutions in this country because we're so geared toward raising money and then spending it. But that's just part of that long-term vision. And your money will go a long way because it will be invested in such a way that you will see the returns over time, your children will see the returns over time, and America will see the returns over time. The Islamic Center of Southern California is a truly unique institution because it had set out from the beginning to create a vision of American Muslims and their place in America, and also to establish a philosophy and to drive that identity and to create it. And after a couple of generations, I don't think you could look at the community that was spawned from this mosque and not see an incredible success story. Many of the issues that a lot of mosques are dealing with, the Islamic Center of Southern California resolved those years and years ago, generations ago. Issues surrounding gender and inclusion and community outreach and stable identities and stable gender interactions and visionary institutions. These are all things that we grappled with at our mosque as a part of our structure and as a part of the vision that was underlying the entire community. So there's a lot of mosques that are looking for a mechanism that works, and I want to tell those people we have one. We have one that's proven over 50 years, that's proven to create communities that are resistant to the Islamophobia that we see, that are resistant to the push and pull of different forces that want to tear our communities apart. And I invite people to replicate that model and to help the Islamic Center of Southern California encapsulate that model into a methodology that people can share. I want to be an ambassador for the Islamic Center of Southern California because of what it did for me, because of what it taught me and how it shaped my life. I make it a point to tell everyone that I work with in my professional career, in my previous career as a diplomat, that everything that I do and everything that I work on came in some part from what I was taught at the center and the vision and the inspiration that it gave me. And so I want to really just tell the world about this, not just in America. There are Muslim communities around the world that are looking for these answers. And I want to be able to go to all these people and say, there's something that works. Partly because of the leadership training that I got at the Islamic Center of Southern California, I became a student leader, a Muslim student leader when I was at university in UC Berkeley. I then got into Silicon Valley and started building tools that I believed would help Muslims live their lives in the West. Tools like Zabiya, the Halal Restaurant Guide, like Alt Muslim, the online magazine that spawned many other ways that Muslims could interact with the community around them. And as my work as a diplomat with the U.S. Department of State, representing American Muslims really in interacting with Muslim communities of young people around the world. And I want to tie all that work that I do back to the center. It really did, that DNA goes right back to the beginning.